Hello and welcome everyone to Connections Forum, a relationship, expression and healing. We are in episode 68. Can you believe it? And our topic today is Meet Your Floor Plan Detective with our special guest, Katherine Metz. Connections Forum offers single episodes and short series of talk interviews regarding the most important area of human life, such as relationship issues, personal expression, self-development, and also healing of these areas. The purposes of our show is to give you inspiration and also teach you new skills with which to handle the issues which are connected with our topics. And you can watch all our replays at our website, Hangout on Connections.com. Hello, I'm Margherita Crystal Lotus. I'm an intuitive life and business mentor who helps professional women overcome emotional issues. And I am living in Kingston, Ontario on a healing retreat called Enchantment, where I see my private clients who comes here for consultations. And my website is thecrystallotus.com. And now, over to you, Heidi.
Yeah, hello, I'm Heidi Hornlein, and I'm living here in beautiful Italy with summer temperatures. As you see, I'm almost naked. We have here a retreat too for courses and also for you to stay in the beautiful landscape. We are right in the middle of the countryside. I'm a transformational coach and also a voice coach, and I'm very interested in learning a lot about life. And so I'm very happy today to learn something new. Anyway, I'm offering also relationship coaching, and you can find about me in The Power of Relationship. The Power of Relationship.com. Oh dear.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You know, but this might be a Freudian mistake, power of relationship. But I can tell you, I have overcome the relationship. And after many trials and errors, I have found the right relationship, and I really want to share with you how the journey could be so that everybody can really find the relationship beyond your wildest dreams. So I think it's enough about me. I would like to introduce Katherine Metz. Hello, Katherine.
Hi, Heidi. Hi, Margherita. It's good morning here from California.
Yeah, exactly. We are right in a triangle over the world: Canada, California, and Italy. It's amazing what this technology can do for us. And
yeah,
really. And we are here to hear about, as you see in the title, a floor plan detective. What is that? First of all, we will ask her. And it seems to have to do something with Feng Shui, and I'm not sure if everybody knows what that is. And she says she evolved into this activity somehow, and her somehow, you can say more about that later, but your desire is to bring Feng Shui to everyone in a way that it can be understood by everyone. You have a membership site. She has a membership site where she shares stories about the floor plans of people and how their problems are and how they can be healed. I think that's what it is it, Katharina?
Yeah, you know, I've sort of over the years of study and practice, I've been doing this for 30 years, and over the years it just sort of unfolded that when I looked at a floor plan, the story of the family or the story of the occupant just jumped off the page at me. And so that's the detective in me that always wants to find out how that built environment affects us. And when those stories started to appear, I just decided that I could present Feng Shui in that way by telling the story of what I saw, how I saw it, and tell that story and let people know how profound our interaction is with the built environment.
Okay, this sounds so interesting to me. You know, when I thought about when I bought this house in which I am now, yeah, I had the plan, but what has it to do with me? You know? And I wonder if you can dive in a little bit and tell, I mean, you think the plan is given, unless you do your own house. If you construct it from the very beginning, you know, then you can choose what to do. But if you don't, how is that?
Well, it's interesting because I had an architect as a student many years ago, and he started learning about all the design details and how there might be a missing piece in your house that speaks to lack of money in your life, or you may have a bathroom that sits over your front door that speaks to authority over you, and I've seen people go to jail with that design detail in their house. And so when he began to look at all the details that he had constructed for people throughout the years, he came back to me and he said, I looked at what I built for people and I realized what I had done, and he cried. He actually cried because he realized that he had created some problems for people. And so it was very enlightening to him that what he was doing and what he was putting on paper was affecting people's lives in such a profound way. And so, you know, a house, as soon as it's built, as soon as it's designed on a piece of paper, it has a story. And that becomes, you sort of step into that story. And that story, whether it's your story or not, becomes your story. And so you have to really, if you can know what the story is and work with it, you can sort of make it your story. You can learn from it. It's very interesting how it all unfolds, and I brought a couple examples today from the storyboard about a couple of stories. So when you want to do that, we could look at those as well.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm really excited about the idea that, or excited, maybe not, it's not the right word, the idea that I enter into the story of the architect staying into this house. Can I change this story?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We can work with this story. And I just had someone yesterday who moved into a house and there have been a couple accidents there. And we took a look, and the plot plan speaks to accidents. It's a diamond-shaped lot, and the house faces the corner of that lot. And that, to me, from my teachings, from my master teacher, tells me to watch out for accidents. So then I also know what to do to correct that. So sometimes it's very simple, and there's always something you can do. Always. Always. And something easy, something fun, something beautiful. Yeah.
I don't know you, Margherita, but I would love to hear a story and hear it explained, because so far it's sort of words. I cannot really grasp it, what you mean.
Yeah. Well, you know, if I can bring up the plan. So we'll see if I can do that. So I can share the plan here. So let me choose that, and we can choose this first plan. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a plan of a famous artist, and he came to me and he said, there's just something wrong. I mean, he said, there's just some problem with my bank account, and I'm not sure what it is. And immediately from looking at the plan, I asked him a question. And the question I asked right away was, is there someone close to you who could possibly be stealing money from you? Now, that's a pretty bold question to ask somebody, right? And the reason that I asked that question is because that bottom right-hand corner on this plan is missing. Can you see that?
Yeah.
There's a hole there, and that's the area of the house that speaks to helpful people. Who in your life is helpful to you or not helpful to you? Often when that piece is missing, that person, you may have maybe scoundrels in your life, say. So does he have a scoundrel in his life? Is someone stealing his money? And then in the opposite corner where you see storage and washroom, that's the wealth area of the house, and it's a closet. And what I know from my teacher and my knowledge is that when there's a closet in the wealth corner, there may be something hidden about your money situation. So that's where the question came from. What's hidden about money, and does it have something to do with a helpful person and someone who's close to you? And so the first thing I had to do, he said, I don't think so. I can't imagine that anyone would be stealing money from me. So where it says conference room, I put up a small little mirror in that room opposite the closet door to draw out the secret, to draw out the story about what was happening. And about 7 days later, he came back to me and he said, I went to my bank. There's $500,000 missing from my account, and it's my best friend, the accountant, my accountant, and he stole $500,000 from me. So that's the story here, and I could see it in the floor plan. I could see that there was trouble. I could see it was a friend. I could see that there was an issue with money. Perhaps money was stolen, and that's what happened. And we got that money back. Most of it, that money came back. We actually put up a mirror to give us back that missing piece. You can put up a mirror on that wall near where his office is. We put up a mirror to push out that wall to the right, give back that missing piece. He got a new great accountant, and he got the authorities involved to get his money back. So that's that story, and I think I can... Do you have any questions about that floor plan?
Yeah,
Wow.
I wonder what you mean with I put up a mirror. Is it literally in the room they put up a mirror?
Yes, and I wish can you see me point to that? I don't know if you can see me. Maybe you can't.
Yeah, you can use your cursor and go on.
It turns into something else on this page. But do you see the wall to the right of his desk? At the bottom there's a desk, and it says office right below the word office. There's his desk.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
On the wall to the right there, if I push really hard on that wall, it's going to move out to the right and reclaim that missing piece of helpful people. Mm-hmm. And a mirror on a wall there facing him at his desk is our intention in placing that mirror is that we're pushing that wall out and giving him back helpful people so that this never happens to him again.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
So I'm going to come back. So that's one of the stories. We called it To Catch a Thief. And we have other stories too. I brought one more with me today. But if you have any questions about the details of this, I think that when I'm speaking with people, I'm listening to the words, I'm listening to what's between the words, and I'm trying to put that together with what I see on their floor plan. And always a question comes up that gets right to the heart of the matter. So in the next story, go ahead.
Wait a minute. What I would like to know is, how do you know who is determining that the right corner is the corner of, what was it? The left one was of wealth, and the right corner was of, I forgot.
This is set, and I can share too here the Bagua. Let me share the Bagua with you. I think it went away. It's not on my screen any longer. So we'll cancel that. There is a diagram called the Bagua. And Ba means 8 in Chinese, so it's 8 images of life, the life situation. And it all this information comes from the book called the I Ching. So the Bagua is a description of all. There it is. Oh, thank you, Margherita. So each one of those areas is denoted from the information from the I Ching. So that top circle there, inside there, would be fame, and below that would be career. Right. And the upper left-hand corner is wealth, Other corner from where we see it.
This
Yes.
one?
Wealth,
Okay.
right? And to the right would be partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so all of these areas are laid out. So every life situation, fame, children, family, is denoted and placed on the house according to this bagua. And we use the bagua according to the front door. It moves according to where you find the front door. So all that information is ancient and was brought to us by Chinese scholars many, many, many years ago.
Wasn't it so that there was a turtle and somebody saw patterns on its back?
Yes, and that's part of the history of the I Ching, right? And so the I Ching is an ancient book used for divination, and it also, each gua that we find has a trigram line that's associated with the I Ching. So all this information is mathematically sound, and it's a very scientific piece, even though the whole history comes from the tortoise and the cracks on the back of it. The actual layout of the I Ching is very mathematically sound, and it actually mimics our DNA. So we have the same structure in our DNA. So it's very fascinating to see the science and the artistry of this come together.
I wonder if somebody wants to change the house, should they, before they say yes, come to you and ask what this house is telling you?
I think it's really important when you buy a house or once you move into a house to understand what the story is. And sometimes, you know, your intuition will tell you, gosh, I moved in here and suddenly I'm unhappy all the time. Or I moved in here and suddenly money just started flowing in. One gentleman had a new business and he moved into a new home, and I said, the money is just going to flow into this house. I could see it in the floor plan. And he called me months later, and millions of dollars flowed into his house because of a change in a governmental restriction on his business. And money just came pouring in by the millions, and they've now built an enormous new building in Los Angeles, and I could read that in the plan.
This is amazing. I'm thinking when I come into my front door, on the right is just the wall and behind is the bathroom. So that doesn't seem, but behind is the kitchen. So on the right side. So, and I have a problem with eating too much. Maybe it has to do with that.
Sometimes when you walk right into your kitchen, you know how, you know, here in the States, we come in our side door from our garage right into the kitchen, and that can create a problem with eating too much. So if you walk right into your kitchen, then we usually, you know, have you come in another door, or we just put a crystal ball there that draws your attention so that you're thinking of other things than food. So it absolutely, your house can affect all the things that you do, whether it's eating or sleeping. You know, your bedroom is really important, really, really, really important.
Okay, I will send you a plan for my house. And
Okay, good. I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have here a comment from Neil D. Brown, and he says, this knowledge is so different from Western thinking that it's hard for us to grasp. Sometimes we have to accept things on faith and see how it feels or affects us.
Yeah, I think we're not accustomed to thinking that the house is a living being and that we interact with it just as we do with people in our lives. This house affects you, it's living, it's breathing, and it has something to say. And so to be able to communicate with it is really important. And I think that when I can walk into someone's house and say, do you have heart trouble? And they say, yes, how did you know that? Then it begins to sink in for folks. You know, it's like, wow, how did you know that? Well, that your house is telling me that. I see a fireplace, a double fireplace in the center of the house, which speaks to your heart, and there's too much fire there. And so you could have heart trouble. It could even be a broken heart over and over again. So those clues allow me to ask questions that have people say, wow, You know, how did you know that? And then they know something's happening. And then there's this relationship begins, which is what's so exciting for me. You know, we need to be building places that encourage us, nurture us, take care of us. And we live in so many houses that do just the opposite. That's what I want people to know about.
This is
I
such
have a question.
Yeah, do.
I have a question. I did a little floor plan here on my house, and right when you enter into my house, the bathroom is right on top, and here is the floor plan, and then right over here on the second floor is the bathroom, and I put a red carpet, round carpet on the bathroom floor upstairs, and then I put the mirror on here on the top of the stairs.
Nice.
Is that
Perfect.
something that you would recommend?
Yes. Let me tell you what happens. Actually, it looks like the bathroom's a little off. You don't step in and the toilet's not directly above your head. It looks like it's off to the right a little bit.
It's just when you walk in, yeah, like it's more along the wall.
Yeah.
So when you step into the house, then it's in the middle of the floor of the bathroom, and then it's to the right side to the.
Yeah, I would be more concerned, Margherita, if that toilet was right over your head when you stepped into the house, because what that means is that authority can come down on you. So it could be the police stop you, or you get convicted of some crime you didn't handle. We had this happen with one gentleman who was building a house with the bathroom directly over the front entry, and he was a man who was in charge of one of the venues for the Olympics, and that venue, when it was being tested before the Olympics, was all cattywampus, and all the boats flipped over in the wind, and these were boats that were rowing boats, and so it had been built just off the proper angle with the wind, and all the boats were flipping over, so they had to build big mounds of earth to stop that. But he was the one who was maligned for that, and his reputation was immediately maligned because things weren't working properly. So that authority came down on him immediately. Right. So that's the kind of thing that I see with that. It's not happening in your house, but you did the right things. And I love seeing that you put a mirror at the top of the stairway, because stairways make that life situation go up and down, and that was sitting in career for you. So it could have been lots of ups and downs in career, and once you put that mirror at the top, then there's always this lifting upward of your career, moving upward always. So you did the right things.
So the red carpets works, right?
Yeah, it's not a cure that I would use. I would use a mirror upside down, facing down, behind the toilet. But the red does separate that toilet from what's below. I would have done it with a mirror.
Put a mirror upside down under the toilet?
Yes. And see, but that mirror then picks up the image of the foyer, and then you have two foyers, and the bathroom goes away.
Okay, great. Okay. And then I'm selfish here now. So I have a fireplace right here.
Okay.
Is that a good place for it? I mean, it's built in. I can't do anything about it.
No, it's fine. Actually, it's fine. It's between guas. Guas are circles, and they sit like circles, and there are 9 of them. So if you had a square, you'd have 9 equal circles. These guas are all circles. So that fireplace is sitting between money, and it's sitting between wealth and fame. And that's where fire belongs, actually.
Yay!
We don't want to burn anything up, so if it's in balance, it's great. If that was a huge red fireplace, adding more fire, it might be too hot, and then we'd put a mirror over the fireplace because we'd have water and fire.
It's actually white tile.
Okay, so it's not, so I think you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have 3 entrances in my house. First, the one that we use here the main door, and then there is like a screen door, but it's like a veranda entrance here, and then we have an entrance here which is closed right now. It's blocked. But this one is open too. So does that make sense? Is that something that I should do something about?
Well, if it's obvious which one is your main door, then you're fine.
Okay.
If that's obvious. If you have two front doors on the same line and it's not obvious, it can create confusion. And then that confusion spreads throughout the house. Did you say your back door was locked? Like you can't open it at all?
Yeah, I locked it and I have a shelf over here.
Okay.
So I can move it.
If you want to keep it locked and shut like that, you should put a small round mirror on that door at eye level to let the chi flow, because that becomes what we call a dead door, and it's in partnership. Actually, you're missing helpful people now that we've turned this around. But that's a door in partnership, and when you have a dead door in partnership, it means you might not be able to speak to your partner about everything you wish to speak about, or you may not be able to just let people know who you really are. I don't see that in your chi, but I don't want that to happen over time, and that's all your internal organs as well. All your internal organs rest in partnership, and so we don't want that dead door to affect any of your healing or any of your organs. So a little round mirror at eye level will allow the chi to flow through that door even though that door is shut.
Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to open it and have it flow, is that detrimental here?
No, you could either way. Either way, a backup door is also a backup plan. So in a sense, not having a back door that opens stops that idea of having a plan that backs you up no matter what. But if you put the mirror on the door, you've solved the problem.
There's a round mirror, right?
A round mirror at eye level. And you just see that the chi is still flowing through that door as if it could open.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Katherine, I think I'm amazed about that, and I think our watchers will be amazed too. So I wonder, what can they do? Shall we do, I mean, are you doing this in your membership site, bringing up their floor plans and talking them through, or do they need to ask for a private session?
No, the membership site includes, I unfold a story that comes from my experience, and then I tell everybody what I did and how I did it, and all the documentation is there. If I ask them to do a meditation perhaps, or an exercise, or that information's all there as well. We also have a call every single week, so people are on the phone with me as we are here, not in a hangout, but a teleseminar. And people can ask questions about their own place. We have a forum online where people can ask questions about their own space. I'll do a reading for someone every month, and I'll choose a floor plan that can teach everyone more information. So there's interaction with me and online and with the whole community all the time. So you can get a lot of information about your own place.
But I think what you teach should be taught in architect schools. I
think so too. I'm glad to hear you say that. It's such an important piece for architects to see what actually happens after they've built the home. And some architects, I'm happy to see that many architects are tuning in and really learning it. I followed one architect's work over time because I saw one of his houses where the last 3 occupants had all had the same trouble with money. They all went bankrupt, and they all lost their marriages, and they all got sick. So I began to follow his houses, and that story followed every single one of his houses over about 10 years of his designing them. And those are the people I'd love to speak to, because there's so much that they could be doing with their artistry rather than creating some harm. And I would love to be doing more of that. Yeah.
So the architects in the audience, connect with her. So your next clients will be much more happier.
Yeah, I think it's important when you're working with someone who has heart trouble, you know, to know not to put a fireplace in the middle of their house, especially a double fireplace, right? I think there are details like that that are very important for architects to know to build the best possible place for that person. Lots of things like that. I think the one thing I'd like to tell everybody today is take a look at where your bed is. You know, you want your bed to be in command. And what I mean by that is so if you're sitting up in bed, you don't want to be looking directly out the bedroom door, right? You want to be, but you also don't want to be in bed and have the door, you know, behind you. So your bed is on the door wall in a sense. So if someone came in, you'd have to do this. That's out of command. You want your bed to be over there looking back at the door wall if possible. You want to be in command of your door, because otherwise you can become very anxious, you can sleep not well, you can have phobias, you can have heart palpitations, you can become more accident prone. There's so many things that have to do with the placement of your bed, and I would love for everyone to put their bed in a command position.
I will have to look into that. I don't have many possibilities to put the bed, or looking to the internal bedroom door, or looking towards the door where it goes outside, directly outside.
Yeah,
so.
you know, if you can't move your bed at all, say I'm on the door wall, you know, and I'm looking that way and the door's back here, I can put a mirror up in front of me, and when I look in the mirror, I can see who's coming in. So there are always ways to fix this, even if you can't move your bed. But I would say take a look at your bed and your desk. You know, are you sitting up against the wall and looking at a wall all day long at your desk? I mean, have you ever seen a CEO sit like that in his office? No, he's in command of many people. You walk in and you see him facing you when you walk into that room. And what I see a lot is women at home without a desk at all, no place for themselves, or their desk is a little tiny cubby in the kitchen where everybody puts all their stuff and they can't use it. So you need a desk, and you need a desk that's in command. So if you're trying to get something moving, or write a book, or you know, get the soccer league to listen to ideas that you have for your children, you know, you want a desk that takes command of the room.
Wow. I want to bring up a comment by Cindy, and she says, she confirms what we were saying. Architects, designers, home stagers, real estate agents, all can benefit from learning about Feng Shui.
Ah, thanks to Cindy for saying that. It's so true. Thank you. Yeah. And home stagers are pretty good at it. They have sort of an innate sense, but there's a lot more that we could share with them. Yeah.
So I have a burning question now, because now I'm selfish in this episode, because I can see that you can actually advise me in this. Where does the office belong?
A home office can go anywhere in the home, and it depends on what you're up to. I mean, your office, if you're managing a lot of people, even from home, then your office should go to the back of the house. But if you are in your home office working for yourself, your office could really be anywhere. But if you're reaching out to people all the time, making sales calls all the time, your office could sit in the front of the house, because it's easier to reach out to people. But if you're managing a lot of people, even from
like
home,
that, I have my office here, right?
Yes, so you should be very easily reach out to people, and you're in the knowledge area of your house, and that's a great place to have an office, since you teach people about healing. And you're reaching out to people all the time, so that's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yes, I haven't prepared a plan of my house, so.
You'll get it to me, and we'll get it back to you.
Okay. But you said you have another story which you could share with us.
This is a great one, so let me bring that one up.
Let me first bring up another comment by Cindy. She says, I rearranged my office to place my desk in command position after learning about this from Katherine. Made a huge difference in how I worked and felt in my office.
And
Great.
she's a wonderful, wonderful professional. I think that's a great testament to what she did. And, you know, it takes courage to try something new. And I just say bravo and thank you to everyone who takes a step that seems unusual or uncommon and makes it work. So thank you, Cindy, for sharing that. So I'm going to share this story. This is the, oops, let's see if the new one comes up.
Yeah, it is up.
That's the old one again, I think.
No, it's a different one, isn't it?
Is it? Because what's showing for me is a different one. So it's the same one.
It has no missing edge, so it must be the other one.
Okay, good. So that's what you're seeing. Great. Okay. So these people came to me and said, Katherine, the only question we have for you and the only thing we want help with is that we have no time for sex. I've never had that question before in my career, and so it was really interesting. And there are lots of places I could have gone with this. There's a door out wealth that could be leaking money, and they could be working really hard, right? And that's taking up time. They are together here in partnership. Their office is in partnership. And they could be working hard with their offices in partnership, and it could be pulling their partnership apart a little bit, but that's not it. They work together, they love one another, they've always worked together, but this is new and different. So there are lots of things here, but what I noticed right here are 2 bathrooms, and those 2 bathrooms sit right on top of the area of children in the house, as denoted by the I Ching. So this is the area of children. And whenever you see bathrooms directly on top of a gua, it means that there may be some kind of decline, something pulling on that gua. And so my first question to them, my very first question was, do you have children and how are they? There are no children's rooms in this house, so I might not have thought about children, but I see 2 bathrooms sitting on the children area of the house. Do you have children, and how are they? And the tears started to flow immediately, Heidi. She just started to cry, and it was minutes before she could speak, but she said, we have 2 sons, and they're both in jail. And it's taking all our time and all our money to get them out of jail because they're wrongly convicted of being drug traffickers. So immediately I knew the story. I knew to ask the question, and that's the story that unfolded. So that they had not told anybody that story, not their neighbors, no one, and they were not going to tell me that story either. But it came out immediately, and then we went about correcting that by doing some ceremony. And those boys were out of jail within 3 months. It all got cleared up. But that's what was taking up the time.
Wow. And I mean, you cannot change the situation of the bathrooms. What did you do?
Well, there are a lot of things that you can do to sort of, in a sense, remove a bathroom from a gua. You can put a mirror on the outside of the door, and that mirror is picking up the reflection of what's opposite it. So it might be picking up the image of a hallway or a kitchen, and then that room and that image takes the place of the bathroom, and the bathroom, in a sense, goes away. So a mirror on the outside of a bathroom door works really well. There's also a ceremony called sealing the drains, which we use, and it's done with ceremonial powder and with our intention and with prayer, and we can seal those drains transcendentally, and it keeps all the good things in the house and lets all the bad things drain out. So we did a number of those things, and then we did some special things around speaking with the police, speaking with the prosecutor. There are lots of meditations where you can speak to someone and tell them what your heart is thinking. So we did a lot of that as well.
Wow. I'm sort of speechless.
Me too.
It's left me speechless for many years, and I think it's why I continue to do this work, because it's so exciting for me to see these stories unfold like this. I'm always surprised when I ask a question and somebody says, yes, how did you know that? It still surprises me, and I think it's why I still do this work. And to see the results unfold is another wonderful thing for me to see in my life. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to hear this, because it instills me with the power of, okay, there is things I can do in my environment with the remedies you describe. And it's getting a mirror and putting it up. That's very easy things to do.
Yeah, and I think I really stress making things easily, easily done and also beautifully done. So, we have a color tech on our storyboard, and she chooses color for people that's just right. Because if we can push out a missing piece according to the color of that gua. So in that gentleman's place where he was missing helpful people, the color is gray for the gua that was missing, and he already had gray concrete walls, so the color was already helping him, so we added a mirror to push even more. But we can choose colors to make this work as well, and I love bringing beauty to people's homes, so I'm not putting things here and there that are strange. I'm really architecturally and design-wise trying to create a beautiful environment.
I mean, this is so important. I mean, it's like, and even the dog wants in here.
It's so funny. Everywhere I go, the cats appear. It's the cats come out of places they've been for years or under the bed, and everywhere I go, it seems to happen. I think that energy shifts a little bit, and something changes for the animals as well. It's interesting, very fascinating. Yeah.
So can I ask this question here? I told you about this before. My cat brought in a mouse, and now the mouse is hiding in my wealth corner under the piano.
Well, my teacher always said, Grandmaster Professor Linya, and always said, when animals come visit your house, it's a good thing, because they're always seeking the most comfortable, safest place to be. So they're always finding the place that has really good chi. So you're blessed by that, and certainly that mouse will find its way back outside again.
Yeah, I don't want to have a trap him, but after a while he starts to eat the furniture, right?
Yeah, no, he'll leave. And it was great that he wasn't killed by the mouse, so lucky mouse. I mean, by the cat, so lucky mouse.
Oh, I'm really full of what you said, and it's opening up new ideas, new perspectives. I really am grateful, and grateful to Cindy, who has presented you to us for this show. It's something special which is going on today. And I would love to spread this news. Unfortunately, I was married once with an architect, but it's a long time ago, so I have no connections anymore with architects.
Well, anything but I'd really appreciate. I thank you so much for just doing what you do in the world, the two of you together, making these connections. I think it's just a fabulous idea, and I'm so happy you figured it all out and made it all work. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you very much. And normally, Margherita, you ask what is the takeaway. So I ask you today, what is your takeaway?
Oh, my takeaway, I'm going straight for the store getting mirrors. And I would like Katherine to come back and have do a more detailed thing about another topic, perhaps, because this is so interesting. And Katherine, you are so knowledgeable about this. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I think that's.
I would love.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. I said I would love to have an architect together with you, and then figure out how to construct a home.
I think that would be fabulous. I would love that. I would love that.
So if there's an architect in the audience, please contact us if you are interested in doing that. Your takeaway?
I didn't hear that.
Your takeaway?
Oh, connect. I think it's all about connections and reaching out and saying yes to Cindy about getting hold of you and just speaking more about the stories. I think my takeaway is that there are people who really want to listen and who really get excited about it, and to just, you've encouraged me to continue to reach out and speak my truth and stand in my place, you know, with my teacher standing behind me, and just speak what's true to me and of my experience. So thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you. And my takeaway is that I really want to find out what it is with my house and why I'm sort of sometimes a little bit stuck. And I will reach you and reach out to you, and I'm wondering what will come out. So it's really, it's opening a new view on reality. Thank you very much. And the word feng shui has become a meaning for me. So
Great.
It's really great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Heidi.
Okay. Yeah. With that, Margherita, do you want to do the closing?
Yes. Thank you so much for watching this show, and you can see the replay on our website, Hangout on Connections, and we will reconvene next week at 10 Eastern Time and 4 CET, right?
Yeah, in Europe, yeah.
So by that, thank you so much.